Hi, it's Terry here from Impact Language. Do you know when we realised that body language was such an important part of our communication? No? Well, it actually wasn't even that long ago. It was 1960, and it was the first televised debate between Vice President Richard Nixon and Senator John F. Kennedy. This came to be known as the Great Debate after what happened. So I'm going to show you a small 30-second clip of the start of the debate. I want to see if you can pick up on any cues yourself about how both candidates are presenting themselves. What non-verbal cues are they sending out that's either positive or negative?
Good evening. The television and radio stations of the United States and their affiliated stations are proud to provide facilities for a discussion of issues in the current political campaign by the two major candidates for the presidency. The candidates need no introduction. The Republican candidate, Vice President Richard M. Nixon, and the Democratic candidate, Senator John F. Kennedy. According to rules set by the candidates themselves, each man shall make an opening statement of approximately...
What was amazing about this event was it was the first time a debate was televised. All previous presidential debates had only been heard over the radio. So you had a situation where a lot of people who were watching it on TV, but a lot of people still listened to it on the radio. Now here's the kicker. When the polls came in after the debate, those who listened on the radio said Richard Nixon won. And those who watched the debate on TV said Kennedy won, and by a landslide. So there's a disconnect here. The TV votes were based on what people heard through their eyes. So clearly, once again, body language proves to be the greater form of communication. This was the first time that candidates realized they had to focus on their non-verbal visual image, or non-verbal brand, as I like to call it. So following this, it was 16 years before another televised presidential debate happened because of this event. Nixon said he would never do one again. So the potential presidents from then on refused to do live debates until 16 years later, when they actually got body language coaches to help them present their best selves to the audience. When it comes to selling themselves to the public, politicians get trained on how to do this. Going back to that 30-second clip I showed you, what did you notice? Nixon looks far less assured under the cameras than Kennedy. It's important to note, however, that Nixon had only just come out of hospital after a knee injury, and that's the reason he was sitting so awkwardly. He also looked pale and refused makeup. He was a real man's man, whereas Kennedy had lots put on and was already an attractive man. Nixon was sweating under the lights and was seen dabbing away at that sweat. So Nixon compared unfavorably with the tanned and fit looking Kennedy. So I'm going to show you my notes. Let's see how you compared. So let's take a look at Nixon first. As you can see, he was sitting in the runner's stance, which looks like he wants to leave. Now we know that was because he had his knee operation, and so that's why he was sitting like that. But he still looks very awkward. He also had his hand resting on his leg, which is a self-soothing gesture. When you're rubbing yourself or touching yourself, you're trying to soothe your nerves. The other hand is clutching the chair. It looks like almost like a fist, which can represent anger. So he definitely doesn't look at ease or like he's calm. He's also looking at Kennedy, which is beta male behavior. So the beta male is looking at the alpha male, which is Kennedy, to see what to do. And Kennedy, being the alpha male, knows exactly what he's doing. He's looking out at the crowd. He's looking at the camera. He's ready. Nixon's also slightly leaning back, which is distancing behavior, which means he's saying, I kind of want to get out of here. He had the very jerky nod and head movement when he was introduced. made him look like prey. If you think about how prey moves, it's very darting around and jerky. Most people don't want to be associated with prey because it seems like you're in danger and you're going to get eaten. There's lots of odd facial tics and movement from Nixon, which once again suggests uneasiness. And he's rubbing one of his hands with the other, which is very self-soothing. It's a way of allowing the nerves to escape the body, or the unease to escape. When he was introduced, he had that grimace. It was almost like it was very fake happiness. And that's another sign that he doesn't want to really be there. Fake happiness does not make you genuine at all. Then he also has his buttons of his jacket buttoned up to the top. So he's a bit more closed off. And how you dress makes a huge impact. So let's take a look at Kennedy. So Kennedy had a very upright posture, which shows confidence. His eye gaze was at the audience and the camera. He knew where he needed to look. Whereas, like I said, Nixon was looking at Kennedy. Kennedy was also very still. He had very little movement. And if he does move, it's very slow and calculated. He moves like a predator. If you think about how a big cat would move, very slow, knowing that he's not in trouble. There's almost no facial movement. When he does scan the audience, it's a slight scan. It's very smooth and slow. He does have loosely crossed legs, which can be seen as a slight blocking behavior, but he does look very comfortable. He looks very calm. He looks very confident. When he's introduced, he has a very slow nod in the affirmative, almost saying to the crowd, I got this. His chest and chin and forehead are up and out. He's confident, he's proud, he's ready. His hands are resting very calmly. He's not fidgeting. There is no smile when he's introduced, which is very alpha male behavior. He's the one that's dominant and in control. And his jacket is unbuttoned, so you can see more of his chest. He's more open. How many did you get? Did you get some that weren't on the list? Honestly, amazing if you did. Put them in the comments below. I want to hear what you found. If you didn't get many of them, that's okay too. It takes practice and knowing what to look for to become a master at reading nonverbal communication. Now, before the debate, people thought JFK was too young and inexperienced to be able to handle the position of president, especially up against the older, more experienced Nixon. But after the debate, Kennedy seemed like the more in-control candidate, and suddenly those perceptions completely melted away. So what perceptions are you sending out that is hurting your sales? It's all about becoming conscious of what you are doing and then learning how to encode the message that is going to ensure you hit upon your goals and develop a very natural and powerful nonverbal brand. In this way, you won't lose the presidential debate, or more likely, some sales to your competitors. If you like this video and learned something, hit the like button and leave me a comment below. Also, hit the subscribe button so you get a notification when I release new videos each week. Also, let me know what you're struggling with so I can create content that is specific to what you need.